Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger. Okay, so let me just start off by putting a link out there because just want to do a quick panel on what we're seeing and talk about that while I get ready for the Bernard Riley show. That's coming up in about an hour. So stay tuned for that. All right. So Chantel had some woman on the video that said something interesting. So I went to her TikTok page and I found some other interesting stuff that she was saying. So it really is sad how clueless a lot of modern Black American women are when it comes to what Black men want, what they're looking for, how to be a good companion to them. And I say Black men because she mentioned Black men. I mean, there's other men in the world that exist, and there's other men in the world that exist for her. She knows that, but she's attracted to Black men for a very particular reason. It's not the reason that you think. It doesn't begin with a B and end with a C. It is her own reason, and we're definitely going to get into that. So I'm going to go over 3 videos of this chick, maybe do a Dailyrapupcrew video, and then y'all can join the panel at any time. But take a look at what she had to say. Fair use.
I'm sitting in a hotel lobby in Singapore, and I just left this amazing little bar, and I had the most amazing old-fashioned I've ever had in my life that was painstakingly prepared. And I watched the man create it, and I thought, that's art. Art that I would never experience if I was sitting on my sofa at home. And I struck up a conversation with another person that was here traveling, and he asked the question, why are there so many single women traveling solo? Well, first of all, I'm not solo on this trip. My niece is upstairs in the hotel room and asleep, but I'm not afraid to travel solo. And I travel solo, and I travel with amazing travel groups. But every time I'm on one of these trips, the question always comes up is, where are the men? Why aren't they traveling? Why, guys? I mean, guys will go to see the.
And there you go. Her question is, where are the men? Why aren't they traveling? But we are traveling. We're not traveling with you. We most certainly aren't traveling for you. And this isn't a shot at her or Black American women in general, but I mean, this traveling for Black American women is worse than bringing sand to the beach. It's it's taking the sand with you on the plane to a place that's not a beach, and then you say, "Oh, look, sand." It doesn't make sense to travel in that way at all whatsoever. Very, very strange thing. Now she talks about, I'm in Singapore and I'm at this bar and the artwork and blah 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 blah. Show me your titties. What makes you? Oh, I want to go to Singapore and look at the artwork of the Singaporean guards of the Macedonian Empire or some crap like that. No, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Men do travel, but the lure is different. We want to relax in warm weather. And as far as companionship go, we want somebody younger. She's like 60. She's in her 60s, it looked like. Younger, hotter, sexier, childless.
The Super Bowl. They'll go to a playoff game. They'll go to Vegas for boxing. But they're not going to see the pyramids. They're not going on balloon rides in Cappadocia. They're not on ATVs in the desert of Egypt. Why is that? Why are you guys not seeing the world and doing adventure?
They are seeing the world. They have a completely different definition of fun than you do. That's why they're at the Super Bowl. They would rather be watching the Super Bowl, than doing the ATV thing in the deserts of Egypt. See, a lot of times, and I noticed that this is why women travel. They travel to say that they've done stuff. They travel to have a story to tell. But men, we want to actually have fun. And don't get me wrong, four-wheeling, in the deserts of Egypt, it does sound fun, but not much more fun than the deserts of Arizona. It doesn't. Like, you're doing that to say that you did it. You're doing that to go and tell people that, hey, I did this, and I this is me in the desert sands of Egypt, while I climbed up the Sphinx and I put my titty in the Sphinx mouth. This is what I did. Like, that is what they do. They want to have that story. We're not about that life. And furthermore, women tend to go in travel groups a lot more, probably for safety or what have you. But for whatever reason, they like to go in travel groups. I think it's most likely for safety. Men, we will go with friends, but we don't need to sit in the back of a tour bus, like some jackass taking pictures of themselves on a four-wheeler and stuff like that. That's something you do just to say you did it.
Things. Why are you sitting at home on the sofa with the beer when I am in Singapore having an old fashioned?
And notice the straw manning. Why are you sitting at home on the thing with the beer while I'm having an old fashioned in Singapore? Because they like beer more than they like whatever it is you drinking. Like, I'm better because I'm sipping an old fashioned in Singapore, and look at the art. Don't care.
At a beautiful bar. There's so many black travel groups out there.
At a beautiful bar. Men go to beautiful bars. It's called Cheers. Those of you who are older remember that show. They go to bars all the time.
Black travel movement that's led by Reggie Cummings. And the one that I'm now affiliated with that I love, thank you, Craig Henry, for making me a travel leader, the Travel Junkies. Go to amazing places. And every time we do these group trips, there's 2 to 3 guys and 15 to 20 women.
Now, you would think that's a good thing. And I hate it when people try to sell odds. Because let's face it, when you go to places, when men, particularly single men, go to places, they are concerned with the male to female ratio. How many boys, how many girls, what are my chances of getting laid as a result of it? And what Black people tend to do is they try to sell you on that as if quality is not a factor. For example, this happened maybe 10 years ago. So it's not something I could say, they do all the time, right? That we do all the time. Hit the like button. So I was coming from the barbershop, and a brother approached me because okay, so just so y'all know, Cali don't really have, and correct me if I'm wrong, y'all could be in Southern Cali and y'all see a completely different thing. But as far as I know, and as far as my life experience, my 40 plus years life experience have taught me, Cali does not have mega churches like these TD Jakes, huge mega churches. I see them in Texas because my family live out there. That's just like a whole city block and stuff, and it's just a church, and that's the parking lot, and it has like uniform ushers and security. We don't have that. We don't. 500, 500 membership is a lot. So that being said, you have people who be on some they be on the grind. A lot of these pastors be on the grind looking for congregation members, right? So a young one comes up to me, and by young I mean like young for a pastor. So he drives up and he was like, "Hey, what church do you go to? Are you looking to go to are you looking for a new church home and stuff like that?" This man was actually out slanging Bibles, right? And I was like, "Nah, it's not my thing, you know." Then he was like, "Well, brother, we need more men in our church. It's so many women here. We need to balance stuff off with the men." I was thinking, I'm not going to say how the conversation ended. That's a whole nother story. That is a whole nother story. I won't even get into that because I don't like talking too much about religion. But I walked away thinking, like, was this dude actually trying to slang church box? Was this dude actually thinking that I'm supposed to go to the church because it's like 10 to 1, female to men? No, I do not want your church persist. I do not want your hats. I don't want your tambourines. I don't want your lipstick on the teeth. I don't want your too much make. I do not want that. I do not want church. And I damn sure don't want them, you pretending like you pious. Got 8 kids talking about you a virgin. I do not want that crap. I don't want to deal with it. But that's what people do. And that's what she's doing right now. They try to slang the odds. Like, oh, it was 15 women on this girls trip, and it was only 3 men. That's 5 to I do not care. You 60 something years old. You think this is my chance to get out of 60. If I go to this chick, if I travel to Singapore, I might get the same old chick that live here. I'm sorry, miss. Or excuse me, what do you call this? Your Honor. I think she's a judge. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm have to going to plead young box.
And the one that I'm now affiliated with that I love, thank you, Craig Henry, for making me a travel leader, the Travel Junkies. Go to amazing places. And every time we do these group trips, there's 2 to 3 guys and 15 to 20 women. So if you are a single guy and you're looking for a successful single woman, join a travel group. I can tell you that's where we are. Come on. Why aren't you doing it?
Okay. Now I'm gonna say this. Successful single women are women who are successful at being single. You're good at it. You are successful at being single. Like, what's your occupation? Being single. What's your profession? Being single. What do what did you aspire towards? Having an empty vagina? You are successful at being single. Why? There is a whole world out there. If I'm in Singapore, I am looking for Singaporean vajayjay. If you're looking for successful single, what the hell? Nobody's looking for that. And if you are looking for that, you're in the right country. You are already here. Why are you going to Singapore looking for a successful, like, are you, so you supposed to ignore the entire country of unsuccessful single women and go for the 15 chicks that's in your travel group? Get out of here. Get out of here. Hit the like button. This is the garbage that chicks like this try to spew. Now, I'm gonna do 3 videos on this chick. I'm gonna get to you, H&M, I promise. But by the way, come up and after this is on, we'll chat about the scheduled topic, the topic at hand. All right. So let me go to the next one. Hold on. How do you pause it? Okay, there we go. All right. So
I had a really amazing professional accomplishment. And a gentleman that I probably talked to in the past several times reached out to me.
Friend zone. A gentleman that I have talked to in the past. It's your friend zone. Your friend zone.
And his email was, "Congratulations, uh, you should be married." And my response is, "Well, yeah, but most people in my position aren't married." And he said, "Well, why is that? Why are there so many successful?" And he said, "Lawyers, female lawyers that aren't married." And I said, "It just is. Most of us aren't married." Um, and he says, "We need to research that. Why is it?" And I said, my response, and I'm being
The reason for that is simple, is that you spent your prime becoming a lawyer. You see, it's a very long process to become a lawyer. And in most cases, it takes the majority of your 20s, between undergrad, graduate, pre-law, passing the bar. And then after all that, you're in your mid to late 20s, right? But then you're just starting out. I mean, as far, you're a first year. So as far as attorneys go, you are the greeter. You are the person who, at Walmart, that says welcome to Walmart. That's you are at the bottom. So your whole 20s is spent getting into what you consider to be a comfortable place in your career. That's why. And also, and this is largely a black woman thing, they tend to assume that there's going to be a penis there afterwards. So why they don't have a sense of urgency, and they don't go out looking for relationships and stuff until, they are at a certain place on the socioeconomic scale. Hit the like button.
honest, I was being a little petty with him, was because women in our position, we want to date a man with a plan. And as far as you and I are concerned, you never had a plan. All the months of texts and calls, and you never took the initiative to ask me out on a date. I really didn't have time for that. So I talk to other women, and that's kind of a recurring theme. Like, guys want to step to us, but then they don't have a plan for anything. I recently was reading a book. It was called Black Women Die Exhausted by Jane Allen. And one of the characters said, if a man doesn't have a plan for you, then he doesn't care about you. That's kind of the gist of what the character said.
This chick is 65 years old. And I'm guessing. Well, this is Chantel's guess, right? So I'm gonna go with that. You are 65 years old. Plan? What plan you got? But eating at country garden, playing bingo, and dying together. What are you talking about? Plan? You know who have plans, like 20 year olds who's like, I plan to graduate from this university in a couple of years. I plan to go on to, this position, and I plan on opening up a sandwich shop. I plan on doing this. I plan on having 4 kids. I plan on having, 2 dogs in the backyard. I plan on having a garden and with bees in it, like, and then by the time I'm 40, I want to open up a honey farm. Like, that is what people say in their 20s. They have plans in their 20s. What are you planning on at 65? What do a 65, you older fellas, what do a 65-year-old man plans? Like chances are, if you're lucky, you're retired, and you're looking to have as much fun in the final stages of life as possible. What are you talking about plan? When the person who wrote that, see, that's the thing, y'all read too much stupid crap. Like Steve Harvey. When the person who wrote that book said that, they were talking about much younger people. They were talking about much younger men. Men with plans don't plan on being with 65-year-old women. What kind of future is that? Like what the hell? What's your plan? Well, I plan on having my prostate checked. Like, what in the hell is she talking about? I plan on stop buying condoms. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I plan on figuring out what that cracking noise is when I sit down. Who talks like, what's your plan? Of all the Steve Harvey crap, and they read this crap. This is something you should have read. This is something that you should have read when you was 19 years old. You reading it like at 65. What's your plan? That's something that you ask like, another 19-year-old. That's a young love question. Like, what's your plan? Like, oh, okay, well, I'm 19 and I'm working at Burger King's, but I'm really into music, and I have a couple of tracks, and my cousin knows Too Short. He might be able to put me on. Hopefully, he really don't know him that well, but I just want to just try to break into this industry, that's my plan. That's a man with a plan. What you gonna hear a man say at 65 years old? I plan to run for president. What man, this chick. And another thing, she talking about the other guy didn't hit on her after all that time. Listen, you are beyond the age of hitting on. You are beyond that age. You want to know how I know? Because women like you, it happens to me a couple times. The whole sugar baby thing. But it's not really a sugar baby thing. Just the aggressive pursuit of younger guys has happened to me before. But I know a friend, right? I have a friend. Actually, it's a friend's cousin, and didn't see him. So I met him when me and my friend were like 16, and he was like 12. And then I met him again years later at a New Year's party. And what happened was he became like whatever you want to call it, jawline, nagaga, whatever you want to call it, right? Pretty boy. So so I found out from him that what he used to do was he would go to this website called Guilt Seekers or something like that. I kid you not. It's really just like a granny boinking site, and he is just the star of it. This dude is he was the star of a granny boinking website. They would just fill his inbox up with, with Grandma Muff. And I'm like, okay, so it's low hanging fruit at a certain age. It's low hanging fruit at a certain age, and guys like that just be having granny orgies and stuff. However, stop pretending like you a young like you a young chippy. No, if you want to get down, you are competing with all the chicks at the grandma at the grandma boykin site. And you out walking down the street, standing at the bus stop, sucking on a lollipop. No, that does not apply to you. That does not apply to you. Those days is over. That's some Letterman jacket days. Those days is gone. The old days dead and gone. That is no. You need to get your ass on Guilt Seekers and find yourself a young jawline dude like my homie's cousin.
And it really just stuck to heart because it's kind of true. So if you meet a woman and you're talking to her and you haven't figured out in a short amount of time what your plan is for her, where she fits in your life, where I fit in your life, then it's time to move on. Go on.
You don't fit anywhere in his damn life. You do not fit anywhere in his damn life, anywhere whatsoever. I'm going to let y'all know something. When it stopped working, it stopped working. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to repeat it. When it stopped working, it stopped working. No, I'm not going to try to revive it. I'm not going to try to get magic pills to it. I am not going to put some electrodes on it and say clear and try to get it up. Nope. When it stops, it stops. Right now, it is a beast that it is very hard to feed. Right? But when it stops, it stops. So somebody says, TF, what do I mean by that? I mean, listen, I am not going to be 65 years old trying to get it up for a 65-year-old muff like that. What the fuck? When it's gone, it's gone. What am I trying? I had all I need, right? You know. So when it's gone, so what do you offer a man that's popping pills like Pac-Man? What do you offer a man? What do you offer a man that's popping? He's offering it for you. He's the one that's taking blood pressure medication and crap like that, to please you. What are you offering him? I mean, like the question in the past was obvious of what you're offering, but right now it's not so obvious. True, Angela Bassett is in her 60s, and I'm not saying, listen, I'm not talking about all 60-year-old dudes. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you're not offering, it's not the same. Okay, I'm in my 40s right now, right? It's not the same as 17. And when I'm talking about it, I'm talking about I'm not talking about my performance. I'm talking about my enthusiasm. Because it's the older a man gets, the more sex becomes a been there, done that thing. And I'm not saying I don't like it, but I'm saying I liked it a lot more when I was 17 and it was new. And I damn sure liked it a lot more when I was 17 and she was 17. So what you are offering a man is, say he's 65 too. So you are offering, and say he started at 15. You are offering him something that he has a been there, done that mentality for 50 years. 50 years he been on some been there, done that. And then you come with your gray pubes, like, oh, what's your plan? What I plan to fish, bingo, and die. What are you talking about? You don't want to go four-wheeling in Egypt? Not when the game is on. This chick's out her mind.
On to the next one, because when a man cares about you, when a man wants you, you don't question it. You know it. Even though I'm single and apparently I can't sit there and say that there's been a man with the plan. That's part of the problem. I date the ones without a plan.
Of course he don't have a plan. Everything. Listen, at your age, everything he planned on doing, he has done, or he's not going to do. He either did it or he's not going to do it at that point. He is like if he planned on being a movie star, but he didn't get far, so he took the midnight train to Georgia. That is it.
But I think most of us are looking for men. Do you have a plan? Where do I fit? Let me know. So recently,
That is the foolishness. That is the foolishness. Shout out to Red Supreme. Great show the other day. That is the foolishness that we are dealing with. Talking about what do you plan on doing? My father's her age. What do you talk about plan?
JC, she's 60?
I'm going off a guess because I got her thing from a post that Chantel did earlier today, and she guessed 65. I don't know what do you put her age at? What do you let's start there. I'm gonna be honest, it don't matter because I stopped counting. You think we count? You think we know? Just like when I was a kid, I could taste the difference between an orange M&M and a brown one, you know. It really don't matter when you get older. It really don't matter. If she is 51, she might as well be 91. Like it really does not matter past a certain point. I'm sorry. You know, it's not like somebody 60 is going to look at a 50-year-old, 51-year-old and say, "Ooh, that's some young snatch." Nope. Past a certain age, you just stop counting. Ask a kid how old you are.
Oh gosh.
Ask a kid how old you are. He don't know. He's just like past teenagers, everybody's old. Everybody is the same age, and that's old. But since you want to split hairs, how old do you think she is?
She looked like she's in her maybe late 50s, but if she's in her 60s, she look good.
It doesn't matter.
I was going to say the same thing. She could pass for a 50-plus-year-old at least.
Something, yeah.
It doesn't. So, okay, I'm going to talk to you, H&M. So, a woman comes to you and say, "I'm 65, but I look like I'm in my 50s." Does that matter? What the hell is
that? So is it different?
You know what they say? Age ain't nothing but a number, so who knows?
I don't know, but is it different if a woman is 45 and looks 25? Is that a difference?
I'm counting eggs. I have no kids. Like for long-term relationship, don't get me wrong. There could be like a 40-year-old woman that looks good, that looks spectacular. I'm counting eggs, Melody. So I'm not gonna sit there and deal with somebody who is very likely either eggless or by the time the relationship matures to a stage to where we're talking about kids will be eggless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I can't split those hairs. I can't, you know. Now, if I was in a different stage in life, like you know, my kids were grown or something like that, and I'm just looking for somebody to relax with, then, you know, then that's when I start looking at that age.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's when I start looking at that age bracket. But if a chick like that said, "What's your plan?" Like, listen, the plans are done.
Yeah, she's a little too old to be asking that question.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What's your plan? Well, I plan on putting on some Ben Gay on my sore shoulder. Like, what kind of crap is that? What kind of question is that to ask a 65-year-old man?
It's a stupid question.
All right. So, and this is the last one. This is the one I seen that brought me to our page. Let's see. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Oh, and by the way, those people who like, you know, oh, these women look good for 50, 60, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's because the ugly ones are dead. That's because all those 200-pound chicks in their 20s and stuff, they're dead. Are they missing foot? Like the diabetes took their foot or something? But no, a chick that remained perpetually obese their whole damn life, they don't make it that long. So all you have is the ones that ate vegan and crap like that.
You know what? She looks like my mom's age. Now that I look at her, like her neck.
H&M.
60.
Are you interested in hooking up with Melody's mom?
What does her mom look like exactly? I don't know. She is as beautiful as her.
Like
I don't know.
Old Melody.
Oh,
That's the whole damn point. Like Melody is here. Why would you look at her mom?
But no. Okay. All jokes aside, to keep it real, I'm definitely taking Melanie, little young, beautiful self any day of the week.
How sweet. But if
That's
she
what I mean, Melody. Because I love what you're telling me. The way you kill it, that's a felony.
We got a pimp named Slickback. Okay. All right, let me.
no, my
It's a pimp named H&M.
mom is similar looking to her, like, like the same complexion.
Question is,
You know,
when do you settle? When do you compromise? Or do you at all? As for me, I've been single a pretty long time. Never thought it would be this long. I have to admit, when I got divorced a long time ago, it was a little arrogant. I was in my mid-30s, and I knew it was a good catch. Good woman, educated, great career, amazing mom, and I was a.
Y'all see that? Her definition of a good woman is the stuff that we don't care about. Good woman, amazing career, blah blah blah, educated. I do not care. Like Silent Lamont was saying earlier, what that mouth do? I knew I was a good woman. What do you know? What do you
We
know?
don't care about your career or your job or your money. Damn.
And then she said, excellent mom. So you actually thought that you would get a better person than your husband as a single mother in her 30s. And I'm assuming that you married your husband in your 20s. So as you thought that you could do better. You thought that when you got with your husband, I'm pretty sure you went from the top of the deck, meaning that you got the best man that a childless, light-skinned woman in the South can get. You got that, and then you had a child, your career went further, and you like, I can do better as a light-skinned woman in her 30s with children than I could as a woman in her 20s without. You see the lies? You see the lies in the cries, in the wrinkled thighs? You see, I could do that too, H&M. You see all that?
A great wife, cook, clean, do all that. So I kind of was a little arrogant and thought, oh, it's no problem. I'm going to be married in 2 to 3 years. Well, it's been a long, long time.
Says who?
And honestly, not even gotten close. And so sometimes, like a lot of women in my situation that I've talked to, that you ask.
Remember when she said that? Not even close. Not even close. No engagements, no nothing.
And so sometimes, like a lot of women in my situation that I've talked to, that you ask yourself, well, when do you give up? When do you give up on finding the one? Or do you? As for me, I go back and forth. Sometimes I go, well, I just need to be with Mr. Right now. Doesn't give me butterflies, but he's a good man. He's nice. He likes me. Don't have much in common, but he calls, so I talk to him. Or sometimes you've got the one that gives you butterflies, but he's unreliable and not dependable. He's broke. You got to take him out to dinner. We've all.
Her butterfly machine, that mechanism that gives people butterflies seems to be like, it seems to be broke dudes give you butterflies. And that's perfectly fine. We all have fetishes. We all have fetishes. Yours just so happen to be broke dudes. You want what you can't have, and you've been in this perpetual cycle since you divorced about 30 years ago. Like, I mean, because the moment that guy that gives you butterflies, comes onto you too heavy, then you repulse. The butterflies fly away. It's a sick cycle when a woman wants what they can't have. And I know people are talking about men want what they can't have. Yes, I can't have Rihanna, but I want her.
No, we don't.
But right quick. But if Rihanna was right there, I'm pointing to the next room. I'm pointing to the master bedroom. If Rihanna was right there, I'd still want her. We're not so screwed up in the brain. We don't have so much estrogen that we just think stupid. That we just say, oh no, I don't want that because I can have it. No. When we get the things we want, we still want it.
All done that. Those are never sustaining long-term relationships. So the question is, do you compromise? Well, where I am right now today, I'm going to say no. I'm not going to compromise.
I'm waiting. Learned anything.
I'm going to stay optimistic. It gets hard staying optimistic this long, but I'm going to stay optimistic. Now, tomorrow, I don't know. Might settle. Just keeping it real.
Okay, so I've seen some stupidity like this before. Years ago on an episode of Cops, right? Drunken, rednecky looking, beer belly type. You know the stereotype, the cliche type. He was so drunk he was sweaty, type white dude, right? Cops came because he was drunk and disorderly, and he decided to fight because you know how surly they get, right? And then cops, hemmed him up, pinned him down, pepper sprayed him, gave him a light ass whooping, right? And then they pull him up. They was like, "Are you done? Are you finished?" No. It's that type of stupid. It's like you didn't learn anything from that whipping, did you? You didn't learn nothing. You just got hemmed up, hog-tied, pepper sprayed, and I think they might have electrocuted him. I think they might have tased that motherfucker. Like, that is what happened. And they like, did you learn? Did you learn yet? No. That's her. You've been through 30 years of this crap and you still haven't learned. Now, that brings us to the question of the day. Let me bring it up from the Daily Wrap-Up crew. The question of the day is, are women selling relationships? In a nutshell. Here, I'm at their site, so I'm just bringing up the... Black women are single because they want to get paid for being in a relationship. Now, I'm going to explain to you what I think that this means. When we talk, and we talk about it, in these spaces, when we talk about 50-50 relationships versus, 100-0 or 70-30 or whatever you want to call it, everything outside of the 50-50 relationship, because a man could have a 50-50 relationship as far as bills go with a roommate. He can. The only reason why he would consider going 75-25 or 110 is because of the thing that a girlfriend or a woman offers a man that roommate don't. And that is the box. So a lot of Black women, in my opinion, and then we're gonna get everybody else's opinion. I'll put the link out there. I'm only gonna be like 15 more minutes. I gotta go Bernard's, but you're in a 50-50 relationship. Anything more than that is because she is providing you with box, provided that you both are maintaining the household chores equally. Most of the stuff outside of that is the box. So if rent is, say, $1,000 and you're paying $700 and she's paying $300, that additional $200, or really it's more like $400 that you're paying, it's because of the box. You're getting box for $400 a month. Steady box. That is the way a lot of women look at it. Now, that's I'm not even knocking them for looking at it that way. But what this statement is saying is, and I'll present it. All right, hit that like button. Where we got it? Here we go. Daily Wrap-Up crew. All right. Actually, how do I? Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. There we go. All right. But what the statement is saying is they want to get paid. Now, all women want to get something for it. And it doesn't even have to be just a box, just their femininity. However, Black women want to get paid more than other groups. They want to get paid significantly more. So take that $1,000 rent situation I was talking about, right? So, he pays 700 and she pays 300, and he has access to the box. He has reasonable access to the box. By her logic, she's like, listen, I would rather pay 500 in rent and get a roommate or some crap like that, hoping that one day somebody will pay the whole 1,000. And that thinking is, according to this woman, and I agree, is why so many of them remain single for a extended time period. Black women remain single for an extended time period. Even when the white guys complain about the CC and everything like that, like even they only ride it to their late 20s, maybe early 30s. Black women, they'll ride that crap till they 65 years old. Talking about how come you're not in Singapore with me? Like that is what they would do. Because they're chronically looking for a better deal. They go out trying to be lawyers and crap like that just so they can pay that 1,000, hoping that somebody else come along. But I'm gonna go to H&M, and then I'm gonna go to Sweet Melody Speaks, and yeah, you got it.
Now, when you say women want to get paid in relationships, do you mean like something more on the lines of they want the benefits of a marriage or relationship, but at the same time they want the freedom to be single? That kind of thing?
No. You have to pay them to take them out the single market. You got to give them money.
Wait. Run that through me again.
You have to pay them to take them out the single market. That's what this statement means. You have to pay them to take them out the single market. Now that payment comes in another way, in a number of ways. It is, and it don't have to be direct cash. It's not pay for play. You are paying for, you're paying a larger portion, if not the totality of rent, and she just pays the significant bills. You are paying, for her hair, nails, etc., 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 and you're paying for regular outings, whatever. It comes in a number of different ways, but you are spending monies to maintain and sustain the relationship. That's what this means.
Oh, I get it. I'd be better. I'd rather go to the damn strip club that do all that nonsense, because I know what I'm getting.
Can you sleep with strippers?
I know a guy that did.
Yeah, people sleep with strippers all the time.
I don't think we even have strippers anymore here. I've seen a strip club go out of business. I think that is dying. It's a dying industry, at least out here.
Well, not where I'm at. They just changed the hours of operation to where it's barely worth going anymore.
Well, okay. So yeah, I guess you could pay for a stripper. And I don't know, let's just say they cost $100 per pop, right? But men want the relationship because they're like, okay, I'm paying just a little bit more in bills and I get more consistent. If you pay the stripper every day, say $100, you're paying $3,000 a month. So it is better to pay like an extra $400. Somebody say strip. Look, I am not a strip club person. Okay. Last time I've been to the strip club, a chick was complaining about the recession. Like she was like, people are not spending money like that because of recession. And this was like 07 or some crap. Like trust me, I do not. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. But I do. There was one near a place that I used to frequent that I did see go out of business. And since I don't really look for the other ones, I'm assuming that they're just going out of business, like Circuit City and Radio Shack. Like, what the fuck do I know?
Circuit City, really? Don't forget Montgomery Wards.
Yeah, Montgomery Wards. I mean, is JC Penney still in business? Like, I don't shop there, so I don't know. I don't know if
it's a JC Penney not too far from where I live at, and yes, it's still open for business.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's a dying industry, just like Toys R Us. Like, I mean, like, sometimes industries go under, and I don't even know because I'm not a kid and I don't shop at Toys R Us. I'm like, oh crap, where's the Toys R Us? So I'm not into strippers like that. Okay, so the industry is strong and alive. But Melody, your thoughts on what you see on the screen?
Hi. So you were saying that men have to pay in order to be in relationships, right?
I'm saying that the greater portion that men pay in a relationship is him paying for that relationship, which I'm not entirely against.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a normal dynamic with any race. I see the man paying the most, but the woman is always giving as well. Whereas in the Black community, it's usually one-sided. The man is giving, buying, and the woman's just taking and not giving him what he needs.
Now you bring up something interesting with that one. So you feel that Black men pay and don't get the box. Oh crap, I missed the. Hold on, let me scroll up. Let me read this right quick. Think on that question. Think on that question, and let me read the super chats.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Shane Vicious, thanks a lot. Says relationship pretty much transactional, directly or indirectly. Fellas, if you have to pay for what you want, pay for a size 2, not a size 22. Hey, thanks a lot. And you sent that to the man that paid for the stove. I don't really know what size she was, but I liked it.
But you know why you paid for the stove? Because she was giving to you.
Yeah, exactly. She was given to me. She cooked. She kept the place clean. And it was her place. Like, it was, so I didn't have to pay for a hotel. She showed me around. I'm saving money on cabs because they do like to, they charge people what they call the gringo price when you go to Spanish countries, which is kind of like a tax that you pay just for being a foreigner. Right. But they don't charge their own that. So I didn't have to pay the gringo price on a lot of stuff, So yes, it was a spectacular arrangement. It was. And it's nothing wrong. It's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. What I would argue, well, actually, I'm gonna let Melly continue after I read the super chat. Nobody's coming to save these 30 plus women. These women are losing all around and now dragging younger women to join them. Yeah. Nobody want those used kitties. Yeah, a lot of bad advice come from older women. Listen, unless a woman is telling you, and this is anything, unless somebody's telling you to learn from their mistakes and they're not living the life that you want to live, then then I would say go for it. Or I would say ignore them. For example, like if you want to be a professional athlete, right? And you come across somebody who's not a professional athlete, and he tells you, he says, he's not a professional football player, and he tells you, he was like, listen, don't blow your knees out in college. Don't try to show off. Don't wear yourself out like I did. Because you're not getting paid. If he tells you, I don't know, I'm not an athlete, but if he gives you advice like that, he's like, listen, this is what I did wrong, then that's perfectly fine. But if you listen to me, a nerd, and I'm just telling you shit, do jumping jacks. Don't listen to me. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I am very, very, very far from ever becoming a professional football player. All right. So thanks a lot, James Wingate. Appreciate you. All right. So go ahead, Millie.
You had a question for me I was supposed to answer.
Yeah. Did you think on it?
What was it again? I'm sorry.
So the question is you said that Black women don't pay. like they don't keep up their end of the bargain, meaning that the black men are putting into them, time, resources, attention, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you're saying that the women aren't really reciprocating.
Exactly.
So what aren't they? You're saying that they don't give out as much pussy? Is that what you're saying?
They
Or
don't
as much
give.
box?
They don't give anything. They don't give the box. They don't give submission.
Mhm.
They don't give anything that a woman is supposed to give. A lot of them are dirty. They don't cook. They don't clean. They just want you to give, and they take without giving back. So that's the difference.
Okay. That's a good point. And it's funny because I'm going to cover the Daily Wrap Up Crew and they talk about cooking and cleaning. And that is part of it. They do want to charge for that, which I always find interesting because they cook or clean whether you're there or not, I'm assuming. So yeah, we could definitely, if you want to come up, probably do that tomorrow. You're welcome to that. Big Kev, what's going on?
I was going just eating dinner right now, so.
Okay, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, man, it's just crazy. I mean, listen, like I know I'm a single dude, you know what I mean? Like I gotta drop a bunch of weight, you know what I mean? I was just at the gym earlier today, but I'm like, hey, look at this thing. It's just like, to make a good point, it's just like it's one of those things where it's like, it'd be one thing if you're like a single guy like me and you were clueless, but it's another thing to have experience, to be dating for multiple years, and you still are fucking clueless. Like that's what's like shocking. Like how the fuck it's like having a middle management position or like having some sort of position as some sort of trusted advisor for like 10, 15 years and you realize the person doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's like it's one thing if you're inexperienced and you're clueless. It's one thing to have the experience and still be fucking clueless. That's just sad, man. That's just sad. You know? And like with a Free Melody speech, yeah. Again, it's like I think as the Nazarene said it, it's like a lot of them are encouraged to think that, well, pretty much it's really just laziness. You know what I mean? This is why they'll shame a guy for having standards, but then turn around and shame him and call him weak for not having standards at the same time. You know, it creates these perpetual lose-lose scenarios because, again, in their minds, number one, because you're a brother, you deserve it. You know, because in their minds, you're not white, so therefore, you not being white makes you deserving of disrespect. Number one, and then number two, it's like they feel entitled, you know, because of all the, let's just be honest, the abject coddling that most of them get by other women, by dudes, you know what I mean, caping for them, by the federal government, male feminists, tricons, etc. There's like no incentive to actually, like you said, reciprocate. You know, it's like handing out a participation trophy. When you're telling them that all of them are special snowflakes, that's pretty much giving them a participation trophy. And contrary to popular belief, just like how people learn in real life that participation trophies doesn't actually help the self-esteem of athletes, it's like giving them all this fake praise doesn't actually help their self-esteem because it's fake praise, because they know it's fake. You know, it's not genuine, you know? Whereas if you're praising somebody,
It don't help adults.
Exactly right. It doesn't help adults, you know? And I will argue all this fake praise really doesn't help the self-esteem of a young woman either. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to be somebody like an Allison Felix, you know, who got like 40 medals. When people say, "Oh my God, she's an amazing woman," like it's real. Like holy shit, like you know, you accomplished a lot of stuff, but you just calling some like single mother who has like 4 different baby daddies a quote unquote queen. It's like, bro, that's like handing out a participation trophy. It's not. It's worthless. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I agree. And I think that that's what kind of when she said that she was arrogant, it's because she's been given life participation trophies. Like she was under the impression that she was more valuable and she could do the things like that. And she also assumes that she's a lot younger than she is, which is why she's behaving in a way that's conducive to young women. Like, like, oh, what's your future plans? You don't ask a man who's 60 what's his future plans. That's ridiculous. But she's somewhat of a very young mindset. And yeah, that's because of society coddling her for an extended period of time. Let me read this, and I'm gonna go to MGTOW Universe. All right, so black men pay to simp, which is which is way more expensive than tricking, P2P. Simping is also a huge waste of time, which is bigger loss than money. Yeah, I agree to that. I wouldn't even. Well, simping has a very broad definition, but I will say, um, black men do spend a lot of money in sexual rabbit holes, and we do spend a lot of time in sexual rabbit holes, an extraordinary amount of time and money into sexual rabbit holes. What's a sexual rabbit holes? Well, a person who's in the friend zone and he's spending time, money, and resources while in the friend zone, that's a sexual rabbit hole, because you're spending this hoping that one day you actually get her box, and you are losing time. I'll give an example of how that happened to me before. And then I came to the conclusion that it would have been cheaper, and this is from an economic standpoint, it would have been cheaper to do a P2P, depending on how much P2P costs. So, but that's neither here nor there. Or actually, no, I read the whole thing. So yeah, I'll get into that. All right. So picture a young 20-something-year-old me, right? And working in tech support, I think I started that job at 15 an hour and ended at 19 an hour. So let's just go with 17, right? So making like 17 an hour. And one day, like many tech support, call center, whatever you want to call it, they offer overtime. I did not. I'm salary now, but I did not do overtime. I didn't believe in it. I felt that, and in a very real way, I still do, especially the people who work hourly. I feel that, let's just say you make $20 an hour, just for the sake of easy math, and overtime you get $30 an hour. If they're willing to pay you $30 just because you're working this time, then they should have been paying you that all along. So the concept that, like, okay, my job, you're getting $30 for an hour worth. You're getting more than $30 for an hour's worth of my labor, right? So why did you pay me 20 the other 8? I used to think like that. So hated overtime. I really just had like a stance against it. So back to me making, let's just say 17 an hour, right? They offer overtime, and I'm like, nope, not interested. So then I walk out, and there's this chick. I'm not gonna say her name, right? Pretty chick, and we was in the parking lot talking like blizz blast and ham, talking about blah 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 and blah 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 and blah blah blah, And I'm sitting like, man, how much do I have to listen to before I smash? Is what I'm thinking, right? And so I'm there, and I knew I knew she wasn't, I wasn't, my game wasn't to the point where I was just gonna like say something so spectacular that she just dropped the panties in the parking lot. I knew that wasn't gonna happen, right? I knew that this would be a precursor to future conversations that would take place before I actually smash, right? So $17 an hour, let's just say that's overtime, that's $25. I left that conversation, that 2-hour conversation, thinking I'm already at the call center. I could have talked to somebody else, on some tech support stuff and made $50. I just spent $50 talking to this chick. That's what I was thinking. I just spent $50 talking to her, and I didn't smash. So and I did the math. At around that age, right? And I've come to the conclusion that it takes me anywhere between 10 to 15 hours of conversation, a BS conversation, to smash the first time, right? So let's just say $25 an hour, so that means I spent $250 to smash the first time. At least $250. I could be working overtime. So you're right. Time is money. And if you go down these rabbit holes, with these chicks that's not ready, they will absorb all your time. You could be working overtime. You could be driving an Uber or something like that. You could be learning the clarinet. You could be making a YouTube channel. You could be doing stuff, but they take your time on a never-ending journey for pussy. You got to be careful with that, fellas. Got to be careful. I know that was long-winded, but MGTOW Universe, what's on your mind?
Just coming through, man. Just listening in. The thing is, we really get to the black pill of it all. Any dealing with women is going to be an opportunity cost, unless she's an asset. To be honest with you, because women want your attention, and can a woman really reciprocate like a 1-to-1 input to output? I think guys at some point come to the realization that no, as long as she gives me something, then that's fine. But yeah, overall, I think it's just taking a no, regardless.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know.
Here's the thing. Well, and I'm glad that you brought that up. I do think because people in the chat room talking about how much the escorts and stuff cost like that. Listen, I don't want to give out too much of my business, but I do like to do things that escorts don't do. For one, I like to kiss on the lips. I like kissing. I'm a kisser, right? I like doing that. I like intimate foreplay. And I also like to receive oral without a condom. And I assume that escorts don't do that. And if they do, I really don't want to. So because of that, I do go like the 10-hour conversation route. However, I am more discerning of who I actually do that with now that I'm older. So yeah. But my bad, MU.
No, you good. I actually had a funny question, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
No, go for it.
I was gonna ask, do you like to do you kiss before or after the oral, or both?
No, I typically do before. There are rare situations where I do after. I do feel bad about it, and it's not like a deep, intimate kiss. But I do because sometimes you just gotta compromise, and you just gotta like okay. Now understand this. I don't really finish. I don't finish from doing that. But no, sometimes I do that. But even then, it's typically like a peck.
What?
No, you can't. No, you can't. Okay, that's a different conversation. But I just came in with. I guess you all were having a conversation about whatever that comment was. So I don't know where you all are really at. But I guess I just go as we go along. Whatever. Black women are single because they want to get paid for being in a relationship. Yeah, of course. If you have simps that's willing to pay, of course the market of women is going to demand that.
Now, let me ask you this. You ever go more than 50-50?
You mean like pay for the whole date?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so in a relationship, right?
I have.
In a relationship, you paid more than 50% of the rent, right?
Yeah.
Then that's what they mean. That's what they mean when they say paying for the relationship. Yes.
Well,
okay. So here's the example I was giving earlier. Rent's $1,000, right? You find a place that's $1,000 in wherever you live, and then y'all make an arrangement to where you pay $700 and she pays $300.
Okay.
The difference is how much you're paying for the relationship.
We don't know if that's what she's talking about, but I see where you're going. Like I said before, let's say if that's the case. Like I said before, guys I think they're willing to just take that L and just deal with that. Because, why do men really work hard and gain resources anyways? Really, it's not for ourselves. We don't really require that much out of ourselves. Most men that I know of don't have expensive taste. Honestly.
We don't. But I'm saying that in many cases, men do pay. But I think that in all men, in men of all races. Now, I do think that what she's saying is true, but I don't think that that's the reason that they're single. I think that that's the reason that they're single is because they want the men to pay too much.
See, when I read that comment, I'm thinking like money, like cash in hand, not like in bills or something per se, but cash in hand. I need money for this. I need money for that.
No, because that's not really a relationship. That's more what the fellas in the chat room was talking about when they say the escorts and stuff like that. That's not really a relationship. That's something different.
Pay to play.
I guess.
You know, you're paying for play. Yeah. I hear you. All
Pay
right.
to play would be cheaper though. No matter what route you went down, it'd still be cheaper.
Wait, say that again.
I said it'd still be cheaper to just pay for play.
Okay, so
regardless.
So I don't. Okay. Somebody just put out how much do y'all think like a regular escort costs?
Hell, I don't know.
Just a regular, like, if your ex-girlfriend was an escort, how much do you think she would charge?
For the night, for how long is the question?
And to do what exactly?
Right, because there's different prices, right?
For just basic sex, just head and sex.
Head and sex. So I'm guessing head is probably like $40 to $50.
That sounds reasonable.
Right? And sex is probably about 100.
Okay. Sounds like about right to me.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What if I just want to get my rocks off, like, you know, bust one on her? What you think that's gonna cost?
That comes with the price. I'm not paying extra.
Okay, let's not
that's
get
like 300.
Let's not. What is full service?
Just a bust a nut? Seriously? What?
That better be included in the price.
No. Let's do this. Let's go with what Melody said, and let's just say $150, right? So you pay $150 every night, right? And how much is that at the end of the month? That is $4,500. Now y'all saying that it's cheaper to pay half or more than half the rent? If that's the case, y'all got some expensive ass rent.
Well, you're not really doing it every night.
Have you seen how much rent costs nowadays?
Put it like this. Did you or did you not sleep with your girlfriend more than 30 times a month? I'm not saying it happens every night, but I'm saying that you did have 2 and 3 a days. Like you did have days where you had multiples.
Oh, that's a good question.
So let's just say it balances out to 30. Actually, let's just give it 20. Just for the sake of argument, let's just give it 20. That's still $3,000 a month. That's more than the people were paying in rent.
Real talk. Me personally, I'm more like, you know what? No, we're splitting hairs. I'll say more like 12 to 15, but that's still expensive. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Would it be cheaper? No, it wouldn't be cheaper. But then again,
it is a better deal. It's a package deal, and that's even if you set all the other stuff aside. Like myself, I do like the stuff that escorts don't do. So even if you set all that aside, right? It's a better financial deal. Now the problem is, and this is largely a Black woman problem, is that they're closer to the hooker mindset. So they're like, listen, I should get $3,000 for this. They're thinking that way. So they're negotiating in the sense that, because that's what they're doing. They're negotiating in the sense that, okay, you got to pay this much more. You have to pay more than the average. And they're willing to remain single until they get the price that they feel is necessary. It's kind of like if somebody's trying to sell a house or something like that, and they just keep renting it out to a tenant until it's sold, and then next thing you know, they've been renting it out for shout out to Chantel Simone. She did the thing earlier where she was saying she's been on the market for 30 years. So she's basically been looking for a better price, a better deal for 30 years. Hit the like button. For 30 years.
Who's been on the market for 30 years?
I'm glad that you asked. Let me show you.
Because if a woman is 30 years old, she has not been on the market for 30 years.
No, she's 65 years old.
Okay. My mistake. I was about to say, wait a minute,
About
hold
right
up.
to me. So she ain't had a relationship since she was 30 years old.
She said her last relationship. No, she said her last relationship. She divorced her husband when she was like 30, in her mid 30s, and now she looks like she's in her mid 60s. So what I'm saying is she's
Okay.
been waiting for a better deal for quite some time. For quite some time.
Yeah.
So this is her, and this is what she had. Oh, let me see. Waiting
Oh,
for
I
an
remember this
email
woman.
or a text message or something from Bernard because he's supposed to start a show soon.
This
So
is a woman that is so fully self-aware that she's holding her lottery ticket, has been holding a lottery ticket for too long, but she's going to continue to hold it anyways.
and she's not letting you
And
scratch
she's
it.
not
Yeah.
letting it go. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. No, she deserves whatever she gets. I mean, she knows that she's screwing up, but she does it anyways.
So the question is, when do you settle? When do you compromise? Or do you at all? As for me, I've been single a pretty long time. Never thought it would be this long. I have to admit, when I got divorced a long time ago, I was a little arrogant. I was in my mid 30s, and I knew it was a good catch. Good woman, educated, great career, amazing mom, and I was a great wife. Cook, clean, do all that. So I kind of was a little arrogant and thought, oh, it's no problem. I'm going to be married in 2 to 3 years. Well, it's been a long, long time. And honestly, not even gotten close. And so sometimes
I wonder why.
Now y'all see that
wonder why.
she was looking for a better deal. She looked for a better deal for 30 years after, and also she based her cost on how much she makes, not her actual worth to him.
Right.
Question, GC. Do you think there's a simp out there somewhere who's willing to take her at 65?
Well, I mean, so there's a
Fuck
couple of
no.
there's a couple of chilling women, and they got married, and even though they're younger, they're far less hot than her. So I do know that it is possible, but it's still not the guy that she wants.
Right. She's not decrepit for 65, so but
Exactly.
the problem, but the conundrum she's going to be in, like, if there's a 70-year-old guy, why wouldn't he just go for the 40 or 50-year-old version of her instead of the 65-year-old version?
Exactly.
Good question. Right.
Exactly. But watch the end though. Watch the end. That's where it hits you.
She said something about being arrogant. That could be a problem too,
like a lot of women in my situation that I've talked to, that you ask yourself, well, when do you give up? When do you give up on finding the one? Or do you? As for me, I go back and forth. Sometimes I go, well, I just need to be with Mr. Right Now. Doesn't give me butterflies, but he's a good man. He's nice. He likes me. Don't have much in common, but he calls, so I talk to him. Or sometimes you've got the one that gives you butterflies, but he's unreliable and not dependable. He's broke. You got to take him out to dinner. We've all done that. Those are never sustaining long-term relationships. So the question is, do you compromise? Well, where I am right now today, I'm going to say no.
As
At least she was honest about it.
Right. As BGS would say, to ask the question is to also know the answer. She already knows that she's supposed to compromise, but she's not going to do it because she's locked in.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's really a matter of, and this goes back to the title question. It's really a matter of it's you want to call it shrewd negotiations, but there's shrewd negotiations, and then there's just lunacy. There's lunacy. Like, I mean, everybody wants to set a price, and of course a currency in which that price is to be fulfilled. When in her case, her price is obviously way too high, or else it would have sold in her 30s. So her price has always been way too high. And she's not going to adjust that price forever. Imagine if you have a car, right? Like a 2023 Mustang, and you want to sell it. So you set this price, and it's above Blue Book value. It's way above Blue Book value. And let's just say it's 10% above Blue Book value. And every year, the Blue Book value goes down, but the price stays the same. And then after 30 years, now this once new car is now 30 years old. You know, I mean, come on now. I mean, is anybody out there really just checking for like 1993 model cars? Like, but
if it's a Supra, it is. They are.
Huh?
If it's a Supra, they are. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, she's not the Supra of women.
That's a fact.
You know, Angela Bassett is, but she's not the Supra of women.
I like the way you put that.
Yeah. But what was I going with that? Okay. But no. So, but she keeps the price the same. And now at the end of this video, she's saying, I'm still not going to adjust my prices. See, it's that type of lunacy that brings us to this. And I think that primarily is what the person is getting at. That is what this person is getting at. So I'm gonna read some of the comments because I'm still waiting for Bernard to start. So,
what time was he supposed to start? 8?
Well, you're on the East Coast, but he was supposed to start like 4:45 my time.
Oh, so he's like an hour late. Or no,
it's not an hour.
A few minutes. A few
like
minutes.
8 minutes, but yeah. But I know why, and the reason why is because women, y'all are some flighty chicks, flighty human beings. Y'all don't keep time for regular stuff. Here's what I mean by that. Coming to my show, and I have to admit, y'all been good on my show, but I typically deal with women that have their own channels and stuff. But coming to my show and stuff, you know, y'all great, y'all golden, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And going to job interviews, y'all never late to that. You know, going to class or college so you could get that job on. Y'all never late for that. But when it comes to a date, oh no, y'all just come when y'all want to. Y'all come when y'all want to, and you know, if at all, chicks be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm sorry, I know we had a date, but I was watching Power, and I was gonna watch it and then get ready and go out with you, but it was such a good episode, I want to watch it again. So fuck your date. Like it's it's a complete lack of respect. So I'm not surprised. I bet you he's waiting on them chicks. Because they're new ones, they don't know him like that, so they don't have the same sense of urgency as somebody that I would deal with on YouTube. So I bet you that's why he's late.
Probably.
Could be.
Right.
Oh, where's so there was a dude in the thing that's named Passport P, I think it was. Come back if you can. I get long-winded from time to time, but you come back up, you'll have your say. All right. Mr. Shane Vicious says, you can get a college girl for around $2K per month. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess okay, so there's relationships and then there's arrangements. I think with that you're really referring to an arrangement, and which is fine as long as both parties know what it was. I seen way back an episode of Cheaters, and this chick was cheating on her boyfriend that was her own age with a sugar daddy. And she was a very good looking young woman. And, you know, she was just explaining like, you know, yeah, but he's paying for this, you know, and every admirable quality she had for the guy was that he is paying for her lifestyle, which probably at the time was around $2K per month. $2K is a lot to a young person. You know, I mean, it's basically rent and expenses. So she was just saying that, and I'm thinking that if the guy knows, then it's, and I'm not talking about her boyfriend, I'm talking about the guy, the sugar daddy. Then yeah, that seems like a decent arrangement for him. You
Yeah,
know, I
because
mean,
he's
it's
getting
not,
young bucks. He's getting young bucks in exchange for money.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, it did seem like a decent arrangement, provided that the guy knows. If he didn't know, then he's also the one being cheated on, and their arrangement is not going to go anywhere. So yeah. But good point, Shane Vicious. Dang, you really know the price. You really are familiar with the market. That's what's up.
Yeah, he's down there throwing out prices.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
close to UCF. Oh, I'm right up the road from him.
Oh, you know, I thought he was talking about a fighting chick. Maybe I'm dyslexic, but I was like UFC. I was like, well, what's a UCF?
University of Central Florida. I'm assuming that's what it means.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know about that. I mean,
Oh wait, Chantel's here. Ask, or if she's still here. Hey, Chantel, is UCF that place, that university that you didn't want to go to? Because apparently they got $1,000 monthly box. Is that place?
UCF,
She mentioned that there was a school that she went to in Florida, and they were selling wigs in the middle of the quad.
UCF wasn't ratchet when I was there, but maybe it is now. I don't know.
Okay.
It's Orlando. Yep, that is UCF.
Yeah, I don't know. She said that. She said she went to the other place. So maybe that's a $2,000 place. Who knows? But yeah. All right. So let's see. It says, and then paid again for leaving the relationship. Okay. So this person has a point, where he says, paid again for leaving the relationship, because essentially once you start, and this is the problem with the whole concept. Once you start paying for, the relationship, once you start paying for relationships, what winds up happening is women are saying, you know something, I can get him to pay me for once being in a relationship with him. And that's where child support and, you know, alimony and stuff comes in, you know, Brittany Renner type situations. So if you get into an arrangement like that, and then you start taking it seriously, you know, with babies and marriage and stuff like that, then, you know, because she looks at it as a paid situation, she's more likely to just take the pay without offering that situation. If you get where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to be very careful. All right. So quick segue. Yes. FAMU had an orgy scandal, and I seen it. It's on Pornhub right now if it's still up. It's one of my all-time favorite porns. Definitely watch it. And it was interesting, and I liked it because it was organic. Like, they didn't, the participants didn't plan on making a porn when it happened. They were just college students in a dorm playing card games, and one thing led to another. So it was very organic. Once again, one of my favorites. And then what transpired afterwards?
Oh, you pervert. Look at you wanting to look it up.
Yeah, well, it's not a pervert. You know, I mean, I like porn. I'm not into strippers. I like porn, you know,
no,
from time to time. And that's one of my favorites. And yeah, look it up. FAMU sex tape. So they went through the whole thing, and it was very long, but it was very interesting. And they went through the whole thing. And after they graduated and, you know, the girls wanted to get into their careers and stuff, they tried to silence it. Like, you know, no, we didn't want to do that. It didn't happen. We didn't want it filmed. But they was like all in the camera, eating chicken and all kind of crap. Yeah. Like they were eating chicken and all kind of crap. Like, no, we didn't want. No, y'all was looking at the camera, smiling. Y'all was doing all kind of stuff. Miss me with that whole that. And then and I think Chantel, I didn't get to see it. I think Chantel did a video on that yesterday where these Freaknik chicks is trying to pretend like, oh no, I wasn't like that. No, come on, you are in the camera twerking and smiling and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I was on
And you
that
got
stream,
pictures.
so yes, I remember.
Oh,
I
you
was
was
on the
there?
stream with her, so I remember.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I'm
was
like,
on the
you got
stream.
pictures of these chicks in Freaknik with their butt cheeks being spread open and all that stuff, and it's like, and you're a victim here. Like, how are you?
I will be so.
Please stop. Just stop. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Miss me with all that madness. So they try to cover it, and that's what those what is it, FAMU chicks do. Yeah, so
I'm looking at it now. It's black people.
well, it's a black university. It's like a bunch of it's black females and dudes and like one Asian chick.
Yeah, I see it.
That's just randomly there. So
And this is your favorite one? I'm gonna have to watch
no,
it.
it's one of the all-time favorites.
Wait, you said that. Wait, so what's the name of it again?
It's like FAMU sex tape or FAMU
Sample.
orgy.
It says
You'll find it.
yeah,
It's
family
there.
sex
I mean, I'm not the only
tape.
one. It's a pretty popular one.
Yeah.
That's probably why the girls is having so much issues because, I think that they didn't mind having it put out there, but they didn't know that it would be like, like memorable, like people would remember it because they had to graduate it, and years later it came back up like, oh, you that chick from my favorite, like because most people just delete from their mind what they've seen in porn, but that one kind of stuck with people, so I'm pretty sure it affected them professionally.
Oh wow. Yeah, these guys are nasty.
Yeah, so stuff like that happened. All right, let's see. Somebody said, because they are queens. Yes. Okay. It says, let's not forget the strong allergy to any fitness fallacy. Dang, they just going in. All right, let's see. Actually had the same thought. Young lady on the show was talking about. Okay, I didn't see the whole show. I'm gonna cover this whole show, so don't you all worry. All right. Yeah, more like trying to be a man. Not submissive. Yeah. Okay. So talk about that for a second. Dang, these chicks. I'm telling you, y'all are annoying. Because I'm single now. Y'all are annoying as hell with your sense of diligence. Like, hold on. Let me check my inbox. Like, is he emailing? So it is not going down. All right.
GC, what year was this?
I don't know. I seen it. Those chicks have to be like 30 or something. I think I seen it like in my 30s.
Oh, so this is old. It looks old.
It was a while ago. Yeah. I mean, you don't, like the fact that I remember it really shows how much of a favorite it is of mine, but it's not something that happened recently. This is very, so that's how, because somebody mentioned it in the chat room. That's how they did not expect that it'll be this popular. Because it is older.
I wouldn't even like. I don't know if I would mind. I don't know. I don't know. I think I would have been mad if this got out.
Well, they were mad. I mean, they were mad, but it's still out, obviously.
Hey, listen. My thing is this. Listen, if you're gonna be for the streets, I'm like, be 10 toes down about it. You know what I mean? Like, own it. Like, and if you're not gonna be, then just say, like, because my thing is this. It's like, I get like, okay, you may be like a chick that's like a fashion model. You like to get paid to wear sexy outfits, or I understand, you might be a chick. You might occasionally dabble in bisexuality. When it comes to like another woman, but it's like, if you're gonna be out here sleeping around with like a random dude, just admit that you want to do and accept the consequences that come with it. Like them claiming complaining about the consequences is like a professional athlete saying, "I didn't know I could get injured doing this." Like, what do you mean? Like, do you
Yes,
not see
kind
people get injured all the time? Like, what do you mean?
yeah.
That's why you get paid a lot of money because people get fucked up doing this, So that's just my thing. I mean, and to be honest, I think like here in the 2020s, especially since the turn of the 21st century, pretty much, basically, basically prostitution is like the new bootlegging. You know what I mean? Like just like how in the 1920s, how people were bootlegging alcohol, even though it was illegal. I think that there's a lot of chicks that are just selling their snatch even though it's illegal because to them doing it under the table, like they don't have a problem with doing it. They just want it to be done under the table because it gives them plausible deniability. Whereas if it was legal, then they can't sell anybody this BS sob story about how they're all victims, like when you see with this Freaknik documentary. They can't use the whole "we were all helpless victims" thing. It's just like, no, that's what she wants to do. It's what it is. So.
Hey Melody, I'm sorry, I had to time you out for 5 minutes because I couldn't just remove the last thing. I know it was a typo, but you can't just have family sex taping.
I didn't mean to put it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought
that
I
sounds
deleted
like
it.
something so nasty that YouTube will yeah.
It's
So no,
cool.
yeah, no, it's FAMU.
FAMU, yeah, I put it. I put the right one afterwards, and you deleted it already.
Oh yeah, so yeah, my bad because I did the 5 minute thing, but yeah, you can't. In StreamYard you can't do the regular. I'm gonna call Bernard because I don't even know if this dude is having a show. If he's not, then I'll just go on to do that daily wrap up crew because I was actually gonna watch that before this. So Melody, take over while I make this call. All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So, Hustler, what's going on?
How you been, Melanie? Where you been hiding at?
I've been all right. Me and GC actually went live. Nobody came because of that whole drama that was going on.
What drama? I think I fell asleep during that live. So what happened?
The other day, what was going on? The whole like Danica and Six thing was going on.
Oh, that how they were going in on pearly things.
Yeah, and then it was like a whole bunch of big content creators live. So I only had like a few people watching, but we did a good live. It was about prostitutes. So we might do
Okay.
like a part 2 tonight,
I,
hopefully, if he has time.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't on the stream, but I was listening in on YouTube. But then I fell asleep because I work graveyard shift and I was tired as fuck. So sorry I couldn't give my 2 cents. But
Oh, you
that's great.
was there. Okay. Right. So
I woke up. The stream was done for.
it was done, yeah, probably because I wanted to hurry up and get off. But so what's up? Let's talk.
I'll say this because Bernard said he's about to start. But
Oh,
as far as the drama goes, so I think this is a drama that you're talking about. So Six and Danica
Marie.
Yeah, Danica Marie. But it was really more Six. Got into it with Jessica X. They were calling her all kind of okay. So when people install Jessica X, what they do is they call her avatar. So they highlight the fact that no one has ever seen her, just her picture. And people have it's a valid apprehension. And that's because if you ever online dated, like I have in the past, people rarely look like their picture. In fact, it's really not a question of if a woman is going to look like her picture. It's really more of a question of how much less attractive than her pictures is she's going to look. So they call her avatar to insult that. Now, Jessica was retaliating with, and once again, it's really more Six than Danica, but stating how Six used to be a stripper. And people were bringing that up. I think Nathan brought it up, and that's what's going on with that. So it was really just back and forth. I stay out of stuff like that because I have a penis. But that's what was going on, and I think that interfered with Melody's last show. Am I right? Was that the beef that you're talking about?
Yes, correct. That interfered because everybody was over there. They had like so many people watching, and
Yeah.
like the whole manosphere was over there, and I only had like 18 people watching at one point. Then it went down to like 6, and it was just up and down. I think the highest I got was like 24 people watching. So I'm like, okay, yeah, no one's watching. So GC and I will be doing another one. Actually, because I found interviews.
Yeah, we'll do another one. And it was a good show. That was the one where we were going over videos where they're interviewing hookers.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually take it off of private because it was a good show. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you guys go over there.
Or put it into pieces, like Just Pearly Things does.
Oh yeah, I could cut it into pieces because it was really good. So it's only 90. Oh, I'm sorry. Real quick. It's only 95 thumbs up. We need 5 more to get to 100. So make sure you guys hit the like button. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Good catch. But yeah, so Pink Unicorn says, on the other hand, people will use unflattering photos of you as their thumbnail when they make videos and you don't cam up. Well, I'm guilty of that. Everybody knows I don't cam up. And I do use, and I'm not trying to be deliberately unflattering. What I do is if somebody's doing a video that I'm covering, and then I just do a screenshot, but that screenshot could be almost anything. I don't take time out to like screenshot 50 and pick the best one. So I screenshot, and if they're in the middle of a sneeze, that's what goes up. It's and yeah, sometimes it is unflattering, and I don't cam up. That being said, I'm not really hiding my looks. I always say this, I'm hiding my identity.
Right. And GC is legit. I saw GC, Chantel saw GC.
Yeah.
A few people saw GC, so he's legit, definitely.
Legit. Yeah, and if you're local, Pink Unicorn, I'll see you. I know you don't look like Princess Jasmine, but I'll see you. So I mean, I'm not hiding my looks. It's not a matter of that. And guess what? Even if you want to roast me, even if you want to roast me, I will give you a meet and greet. And I said this to detractors, to like pimps and stuff. Like, we could meet up, and you could roast the hell out of me if you want to. It's not, I do feel like there is a certain guilt that I do have when I talk about people's looks and they don't have the opportunity to punch back. I do feel bad about that. So yeah, you do bring up an interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm the same way.
Princess Jasmine. You don't know if she looks like Princess Jasmine or not.
Yeah, true. True. Well, Princess Jasmine, if I had to smash a Disney princess, it would be her, but not the live action one, not whoever the chick is, and I think she's
Naomi Scott.
Yeah, well, not whoever that was in the Will Smith one, but
Naomi Scott.
Huh?
Her name was that was Naomi Scott.
Okay,
she was a pretty good Princess Jasmine. A more mature depiction.
Not as hot as the cartoon. She don't look as good as the cartoon her. That's my point.
Well, maybe, but at least they made her of age. At least I can't look at Jasmine the same at my age anymore. Maybe when I was like 20 years younger, I don't know.
Well, real quick, Mr.
30 years younger
says that Jessica X has a corporate job. Okay. That's why she doesn't cam.
Well, I mean, I do too. So, I mean, I'm not knocking Jessica X for not doing it. I'm saying what the people are saying. Well, some have a legitimate point in a sense that because I don't show my picture because of my job. So I don't really understand that dynamic, but I'm sure she has her reasons. But I don't show my picture, so and it's for that.
Right, and she actually has her picture in there, so you can pretty much add the picture up with the voice, and a corporate person can know it's her. So you're right about that with the picture.
Yeah, true that. I'm the same way. I don't like camming up either. It makes me feel more mysterious when I'm all in the shadows, spitting my truth all behind closed doors. No one knows what I look like.
Right.
Like who
Toya.
is this,
Hi, Toya. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
like who is this mysterious guy who has a love for anime but knows how to spit facts that are never whack and knows how to keep them stacks?
Right.
Well, let's say Toya says I have a corporate job and I cam up all the time. Okay, so here's the thing about that, and that's good for you. I don't. I don't. I told the story of how I got fired on some woke BS, you know, because of something I said. So yeah, I would. And listen, it's trust me, it's a minuscule chance. It's a minuscule chance. Nobody has ever recognized my voice as GameChanger. I'm not that big, you know. So it is a very minuscule chance that that would happen. However, I make enough to want to whip a random YouTuber's ass if I lose a month of income over some crap like this. Like, and because I'll never find the person that did it, you know, or that, but like just a random, like, hey, you in the manosphere? And yes, I would be that pissed if I lost like a month of income between losing one job and finding another, because I don't make much doing this. So any loss is a loss. Like it's not replaced by the amount of super chats and stuff like that that y'all give me. And I actually, rest in peace, I actually talked to KS about this. And this was like right on the verge. This was right on the verge of him becoming big, right? And he was like, what would it take to get you to cam up? Like, how much money would it take? And I was like, you know, I was like, nah, it's not enough money to, you know, because who knows, you could be up one day and then down the next. It's not, and then I would have to go back to the corporate job. So I was like, it's not enough money to really get me to do that. And then Kevin Samuels like blew up and started making money, like more than I thought it was possible to make. That's Bernard. Hold on.
Oh, he's about to start the show.
Yeah, hold on.
My thing is,
Hey, you about to start the show? Okay, I'm heading over there now. I'm finishing up my show.
My thing is, GameChanger. Everyone, several people have seen GameChanger.
Yeah,
people know that GameChanger is real. You know, he's a black man. He is what he say he is. He is who he say he is. He's about 6 feet, brown skin, and black. Okay, cool. But no one has ever seen. There's a couple of people on here that no one has ever seen in life. Okay.
Good
Never.
point.
Not even people, not even the people that are the closest to them that they should let them see. No one can validate it. So that's all I'm saying. Like, so nobody can really compare, GameChanger to someone who doesn't ever cam up, because it's totally different.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. And I think that that's what a lot of people are feeling right now. So Pink Unicorn was saying, it's not the feds that do crap like that. It's the fat human resources bitch that do stuff like that. Okay, it's the fat human resources bitch that do stuff like that, and I don't want to deal with the fat human resources bitch. I don't. I don't like crap like that. This is California. This liberal as hell. You know, I would get excommunicated from the stuff that I say since the beginning of my channel. I would get kicked out of the state for. This is liberal as fuck. So yeah, I'm not gonna be that dude that's losing money off of that. But anyway, I'm gonna say this, then I'm gonna go to Bernard's. But so what I say? Oh yeah, so but there is a number. There is a number out there. Like when I said that there isn't enough money, I did not know that it was possible to make as much money as KS did when he blew up. So there is a point that, I'll just say fuck it and take my chances. Not at that point yet, nowhere near that point. So final thoughts, and I'm gonna head over to Bernard. H&M, you got it. All right. Fuck it. Big Kev, you got it. Damn. All right, Melody, you got it.
Yeah. Great
I'm
show.
sorry, what you say?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead and give your final thoughts, H&M.
Oh, damn, wrapping up already? Okay, then. Well, I just want to say that, well, first of all, nice show. Melanie, good seeing you again. And I think women just need to get better, because when it come down to this paying, we don't mind paying for dates, but I feel like if men are just financing a woman's single lifestyle while she's continuously being in a relationship, that's going to be a problem. That's kind of like what Russell Wilson's doing for Sierra. Sierra's playing a role of a wife at home, but behind closed doors, she's living it up like she's still single and never met the man. She loves Russell, but she's for 50 Cent and Future. She's basically for the streets. That's not the way a woman should carry herself. If you're a married woman, you need to act like a married woman. If you want to be single and be loose in these streets, you go right on ahead and do that, but don't do that within the confines of a relationship or a marriage. That's where I tend to have the problem. If women want to be wild and loose or whatever, I'm not going to complain too much as long as I'm getting some benefits out of said female. But if you're in a whole damn relationship, that's where I'm going to have a problem. That's where I'm going to get pissed off, because I don't need you violating the secrecy of marriage, living it up like you still single again. So we got to do better with that. That's my final thoughts.
Okay, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Big Kev, you cool? Big Kev, you cool?
Yeah, man. It was a fucking auto rotate on my phone. Accidentally took me back to my homepage. Sorry about
No
that.
problem. What's your final thoughts?
Just yeah, man. It's one of those things where it's just sad, but it's like I just want it to be well documented. So when the younger generations ask why everything is so fucking messed up, they can come back to these archives and say, hey, listen, we tried to raise awareness. We tried to debunk a lot of this propaganda that was going on. And hey, these people were more concerned about pandering to the egos of delusional women than about actually building better families like they said it would. So that's my thing. You know what I mean? I just want all this to be documented on tape, so that way they can't, these people, when they try to come at you with this whole, save the community thing, and they start talking about family as if they're in like a Fast and the Furious movie, we can say, no, you had a chance to do the right thing and you didn't. So don't start complaining about why shit is fucked up now. So.
Okay, well said. Well said. It is well documented. Can't get better documentation than the internet. So, Melody, final thoughts. Sweet Melody speaks.
Great show, GC, as usual. Thanks for having me on the panel. I just think if women expect men to pay for their lifestyle, their rent, hair, nails, and everything, they should at least give back submission in return. They should give love back in return. They should give back respect in return. And they should give back the box in return. Period.
Agreed.
I had a question for GC.
All right, last question. Now I gotta go.
All right. Now you said the girl you was dealing with, you paid all that money, but you didn't get to smash. Well, did you at least have access to her sexually? Or did you at least get your rocks off on her or something? Because
I went in the parking lot at my job.
Yeah, well, whatever that situation was.
No, I didn't pay her. I'm saying that I could have gotten paid. I could have, instead of her talking to her, I could have been at work. I didn't give her $50 and she just walked away. No, I'm saying I could have, instead of her talking to her, I could have been working overtime because I was in the parking lot at my job. Makes sense?
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I was finna say I went through a similar situation where I was spending money on a woman, but I had access to her sexually. We did some thing. I got to smash once, but shit, it proves a point. Sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze. So I had to let her go because she was impulsive, disrespectful. Why I put up with such nonsense? Looking back, I don't know why. Because I still had the access and I liked the sweet taste of her, but I realized that sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I had to let her go and cut her off completely.
No, it makes sense. But yeah, with that, I'd like to thank the
By the way, Melanie, where's your co-host Ruby? I ain't seen her in a minute. Y'all had a falling out?
Hey, here, I'm gonna leave and y'all could talk in the back.
Sure thing.
I gotta go to Bernard.
I gotta actually go
over to Bernard Riley. So I want to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats managers and moderators, those who are listening silently, and those who participate in the chat. Hit the like button on your way out. This is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Peace.
Peace.
Take care.
You too.